Welcome to today's webinar on working views versus construction views within Revit. My name is Philip Charlson. I am the MEP Consulting Team Lead at ATG. Welcome everyone to the to our session today. Looks like we got a good crowd here. So first off, let me introduce myself if you haven't attended one of my webinars before. I've been working with an Autodesk reseller for 20 years. Got a year experience as a BIM manager for a large national firm. In all my years working as a reseller and also as the BIM manager, been managing, teaching and mentoring users within Revit since early 2002. So almost my 20-year anniversary of utilizing Revit. I've been supporting both MEP and architecture companies since 2001. I also have the most Autodesk certifications by any user in the state of Minnesota. I love Legos, and if you couldn't tell, if you jumped in early, I love my Star Wars and gave you a little bit of Star Wars music. So I always like to kind of throw a little bit of Star Wars stuff into my my webinars. And when you take a look at the title, construction views versus working views, I guess a way that you could look at that is a construction view would be the first Death Star, the one that got completed, and your working views is the second Death Star, the one that they were working on. So that's my Star Wars portion of the webinar there, to give you a little bit of that to it. So today, again, we'll be looking at the use of working and construction type views within a project. We'll go through a little bit of the differences between there, how you can utilize those within a project. So we'll just simply go through those differences. We'll learn the benefits of having the multiple types of views within a project. Also, best way of utilizing between a working and a construction view. And we'll also take a look at some of the other types of views that you may want to utilize within projects as well. So first off, the working versus construction. How do we go in and set up these different types of views? And the first thing is really with your project browser. You want to go in and make sure that you have your view organization, your project browser set up to show the different view classifications that you have. And when you go in and create these types of views, you want to make sure that you're using the view classification, so that you're specifying a working or construction view or one of the other types as well. Those can be developed in your view templates. So if you've got a good set of view templates now, you may want to utilize the view classification aspect of it. And that way we can, or the project browser will automatically do that when you go in and set up your organization setup for your project browser. Now also, with that view organization, you want to go in and set up the different types of views. Here we're just really talking working and construction views. If you do have the MEP productivity pack that ATG sells, it does have a few categories in it already. We have an analysis, the construction documents, coordination views, project setup, and working. So I'll talk a little bit about each of these here. First off, kind of go in the order that you see them within the project browser. First, we have the analysis category, and this is intended to basically hold the views which use one of the Revit's internal calculations. So there's a lot of different types of calculations that you can get within your Revit models and each of the different disciplines within there. The MEP Productivity Pack starter project views in this category shows flows and velocities in HVAC, hydronic, plumbing systems, and they each have color fill legends as well, so that everything is kind of color coded within there depending upon what type of discipline that you're working with there. So those are there available for you to be able to use. The next set is the construction documents. And with this category, it basically contains any views which should be placed on issued sheets. So anything that you're going to print out, you're going to create PDFs of, push out to all consultants that you're working with. Those are going to be your construction document type views. These are intended to be fully annotated type views. So you have any notes, dimensions, tags, all that type of annotation, you want to have that in your construction document, obviously, to relay that information out to all these other people that are working on the project or on site. The coordination category, this will contain any views for coordination with other disciplines. So this will help on the MEP side. If you're working on the mechanical HVAC, you're putting in your air terminals, but you're also going to want to know where light fixtures are located within there. So with that, we're able to see, again, multiple disciplines within a coordination type display. But again, it's going to be more for, for you to go in and place things in the correct locations and not have any type of clashes that you can see as you're developing your design. Also, with coordination views, a lot of people will use 3D views that can be exported to Navisworks to also be used within clash detection. So if you're not using Navisworks directly, maybe a general contractor that you're dealing with does. So they may want to have a Navisworks file of an HVAC layout or a plumbing layout. So you would, have these types of views already created. Again, this is in the MEP Productivity Pack. They have them already set up for a Navisworks export. So if you do have to do that, it's kind of already set up for you. So not a whole lot of work that you have to do within that. Also with the coordination views, you're not going to do a lot of detailing within those, like the construction. You don't usually push out a coordination view onto sheets. It's usually, again, just the construction documents. The next one is the project setup. And this is another one that I really push people to use when starting projects. The name of it kind of tells you exactly what it is. The initial project setup. So if you're on the MEP side, you're typically getting maybe an architecture model, you're getting a structure model. So you want to bring that information into your project. And with that, you want to, go in and set up all of your levels on the MEP side to make sure that they're matching up with the architecture and structure. You also may want to go in and crop some areas specific for your design. If you're working on the plumbing side, you probably want to do crop areas for restrooms. HVAC, electrical, might be mechanical or electrical rooms that you want to go in and create some scope boxes for. Project setup is also nice to create kind of an overall scope box for the boundaries of your building. With that, you can go in and apply it to additional views within your project. So it can be used for construction, coordination, and working type views. All those scope boxes there, they can be carried over into other views. And then again, the last type of view is the working category. So it contains all the views used by designers, drafters, engineers when modeling the elements. So typically in a working type category, you want to be working in a high detail. Typically you have clearances shown. If you have clearance areas on objects that you're going in and placing, sometimes a lot of mechanical equipment or electrical equipment, you want to be able to see those clearances so that you got the right amount of space for that particular area. When it comes to the construction documents, you may want to go in and turn off those clearances because that may be a subcategory in your object styles that you can simply turn off within those types of views. So nice thing with again with the view templates is that you can go in and create a working type view template and also a construction type view template to display those differences between there. So why the views? So why should I have a construction view? Why should I have a working view? Why can't I just do everything in a construction view? Why can't I just put everything in, that I want to see it, it's going to be in my construction view. Well, first one here is just working views allow users to see more detail needed for the design. When it comes to let's say plumbing, in a construction view, you may want to show one line work for your plumbing. But when it comes to your working view, when you're starting to look at the different clearances, you might have a 5-inch pipe, you might have a 1/2-inch pipe, but we want to see, the thicknesses of those components so that we know when we're going in and placing them, we have enough clearance between the objects there. When we're looking at duct work and piping together, we want to make sure that there's enough space there. We want to reduce the amount of clashes that we have to go in and fix. So utilizing the working views in a high detail mode will kind of help that out, and again reduce those clashes before you have to go in and check those clash detections. The construction views, they should be set with company standards. So how you typically show views on sheets should be standard. Whether it be Revit, whether it be AutoCAD, you want those to be looking as similar as possible. So we go in and set up view templates so that we kind of lock those construction views down. We don't want people going in and changing stuff within the construction view because, oh, it looks better for me in this instance than what this other person has here. We don't want to go in and change those construction views. We want it set to the view template that's assigned to those different views, whether it be plan, reflected ceiling plans, elevations, sections. Those should all have different view templates assigned to them. I always tell people when I talk to them about view templates in a class, always have a view template assigned to any view that is going to be placed onto a sheet. So that means all your construction views should have a view template assigned to it. That way, you know that you've got that standard set that is set up within, not only company, but the Revit template there. Now the working views, we can allow a little bit of modification to the way that view looks. Obviously, you can have multiple people working in a working view. People may want to be able to see things a little bit different from uh, occasion to occasion. Easy to go in and switch. A lot of times, working views may not have a view template. Some people will have a working view template assigned that is it has quite a few things on, but allows it to obviously be tweaked here and there. Um, you can simply go in and apply a view template. You can also apply a temporary view template if you haven't seen that. Down at the very bottom, right below your design area, you have an option where you can kind of disable a view template temporarily and then bring it back after you've changed a few things. So kind of a nice feature. I want to say that was added maybe 3-4 years ago within Revit. So I use it often within projects. Um, the other thing is that with both of the construction and the working type views, they can offer convenient consistency. So what I mean by that is that you are having that consistency from project to project. With your construction views, when you have your view templates, you know that you've got it assigned, it's going to look correct. I can't say about the design. That one's on you, but it's going to look good. But it's up to you to go in and make sure that the design is correct. But you are going to get that consistency from project to project if you use the construction views for sheet issued type items and working views truly for the design aspect. The other thing is that it is easier to use for multiple users. So you could have people working in a working type view, and people can then also be going to the construction view. So in the working view, they're going to be working on the design aspect, and you could have somebody going in the construction views and going in and adding tags to different items, going in and adding notes to a particular view, possibly going in and adding some dimensions to that. So you really want to avoid adding annotations to working type views, because remember, annotations do not carry over from one view to another. Only if you have duplicated with detailing will it bring over the annotations, and that's kind of a one and done type thing. Once you've done a duplicate with detailing, you got to go in and add the details to that newly created view. So that's why you want to stick with the detailing and construction views, and really the design aspect in the working views there. All right, so how to best use your views. So kind of harped on this a little bit here. Working views, obviously, work on your design aspect. Construction views, work on your detailing, your fine tuning of your view. If you're adding any type of line work type items, you want to make sure that you're adding those into your construction views. Those, again, will not carry over into your working views. Also, what some people will do is they will go in and name them a bit different, because you could have a 1-HVAC plan in working, and you could have a 1-HVAC plan in construction. But what you can do is you could put maybe a dash CV for construction view, or WV for working view, or just simply construction or working on the back end of that. That's an option that you have. Just remember, if you are doing that, as you're going in and placing views onto sheets, you may want to go in and rename the view in your properties. You have the option to rename view on sheet and take off the CV, WV, construction, or working on the back end of that. Probably don't need that showing up on your construction plans there. All right, so let's pop into Revit here. And hope everybody can see my Revit at this point here. Um, so what I've opened up here, I've got Revit 2021 open. I could do this in 22 as well. Um, both going to be the same for both instances here. And what I've got is just the systems template. And I just kind of wanted to break down the view here. And when we take a look at the project browser, you'll notice that it's set up by the views and discipline. And, you know, we got our electrical, we got our mechanical, we got our plumbing, we got our different floor plans within here. So when I open up a particular view here, floor plan, one thing you'll notice is if we go to the properties, we don't have a view template assigned to this. So I can come in here and I can go in and assign a particular view to it. When I go in and apply a view template, obviously it's going to go in and show different items from the model, annotation, some of the other components within here. It's going to assign it obviously to the electrical discipline. In this case, it would assign it to power. I probably want to go in and create a lighting plan within here as well. So there's a bit of work involved with kind of developing a proper template within the out-of-the-box systems template or the electrical template or mechanical template. They're all about the same. Again, they have about the same type of content added into them as well, but it doesn't really give them a good sorting in the project browser. So when I pop into the MEP productivity pack, so this is just a sample project. You probably have seen this before on a demonstration, but you'll see here in the project browser, we have different groupings within here that I described. We have the analysis, construction, coordination, project setup, and working type views. You'll also notice up at the top here, the view classification says all disciplines. And if I go in and click on this here, we'll click on browser organization, you kind of see what I've got set up within here. And this is, again, this is the MEP productivity pack settings, where you see that we have different view classifications. So depending upon if you work with all disciplines or a specific discipline, we can go in and set it up to show specifics within here. So if I wanted to just look at electrical, we go in and click on apply, click OK. It's going to remove all of the other disciplines other than electrical listing within here. So if we go down here to the working, you can see that we have lighting and power only. If I go back to this project organization, we go back to all disciplines to what it was set to. You'll see that it now expands to show all the different discipline views within it. So it really is a nice feature if, you know, as a company, you are only working with electrical, or you're only dealing with mechanical or plumbing or fire protection. You can go in and set this up to show just the discipline that you're working with. So you don't want to see, you know, all these other views. You just want to see the discipline that you want to work with here. So if I kind of show you how this is set up, we got sheets here by discipline. Also, if we go to schedules here, we have discipline as well. With the views, I go ahead and click on edit. Go to grouping and sorting. You can see that we have a group by view classification, then by family, then subdiscipline. And then we're doing a sort by view name in ascending order. So if you're trying to set this up, if you don't have the MEP productivity pack, kind of a nice way to look at this type of sorting and kind of getting your own template organized to the way this one is set up for you. So we'll go ahead and click OK out of here and OK out of here as well. And also, before I do that, you can go in and create obviously new view type browser organizations. You can create as many as you want within here. As you can see, we've got a number of them. There's some that are right out of the box. Again, I think the discipline is the one kind of right out of the box there. But the view classification is one that you may want to go and use. I also have one here for view template, just to kind of pop that one open, just so you can kind of take a look at it. You can see we have this one by discipline, and then view template, and then view name. So if you want to show the groupings by how you've got your view template set up in a project, nice little option to kind of flip it over to that there. So I'll flip it back to all disciplines here so you can see everything within our list. Now, back in our project browser, again, our title for our webinar here is the construction documents versus the working documents. So we're going to kind of concentrate on that aspect here. If I expand the working here, and we'll take a look at the working HVAC plan 01. So we'll go ahead and double click on that. And like I mentioned in the PowerPoint, all my working views have working on the front end of that. Obviously you can totally change that if you want it to show something different. Hold on a second here. Looks like we have a sharing issue here. Hopefully this is working. If you're not seeing the Revit right now, please let me know. So right now I am showing a working HVAC plan 01 in my Revit version. So with that, I'm going to kind of zoom in down below here. And as I mentioned, with a working type view, you're not going to put in a whole lot of annotations within here because those annotations are not going to cross over into a construction document. This one does have a few, just more or less might be to call out just for information. Maybe there's something to do with scheduling. They want to know where some particular VAV boxes are going to be located. Also, it's nice to have the room names attached in working views and construction documents. So that's kind of another typical item that you might go in and add. But a lot of the duct sizing, pipe sizing, you're not going to have a whole lot of that within here, unless it's more of a checking type feature. Obviously, you can click on a piece of ductwork. You can take a look at your size up on the options bar here. You can take a look at the properties of that item as well. Sometimes it's just kind of quick and easy just to add a quick tag in there as you're working, and you have that information tied to it. But as you can see with a working HVAC plan, again, a lot of the design work is being done within this. We're seeing a higher detail type view within here. You can see down at the bottom here, we are set to the fine detail level. Another thing to notice is in the properties, this one does have a view template MHVAC plan working. So it is specifying it to be a working type view. And when we take a look at some of the view templates that are in this particular project, you'll see a lot of them being called out as working type views. So it basically adds it on the back end of a lot of these types of views within a project, whether it be fire protection, HVAC, piping, or electrical. We've added those within here. Now, if you're not seeing any construction types. But the reason being is that the construction are typically the ones that don't have the dash working to them. So we take a look at E underscore lighting plan, got a power plan, got an HVAC plan, mechanical plan. Those are all going to be your construction type views. Now also, while we're in the view template, if we take a look at the view properties and we go down towards the bottom, you'll see that we have the view classification right here. And we're showing a working type instance there. So with the working instance, that's where it's using its sorting tool within the project browser and placing it in the right view classification in the project browser. So when we go in and click within here, it's going to show us all 5 of the different view classifications that we're seeing in the project browser. So if you are going in and setting this up in your own custom template, you want to make sure that you are going in and setting your view classification for those particular views. Now, cancel out of here and let's go to the construction documents, and we'll kind of open up the equivalent of this view in the construction documents. So we have just HVAC plan -01. So there's no construction added to the back of it or any type of designation. It just assumes that if it is showing that, that is your construction document type view. I'm going to double click on it. And I think what I'm going to do here, let's do we'll do a tile view here. So kind of compare kind of the corners of both of these areas here and see what really is the difference between those 2 different views. So obviously with the construction view over here, we're seeing a lot of tags being displayed, a lot of annotation for all the different objects. Obviously we want to call out all of that information in the construction view. If this view is being printed out, we're creating it in Bluebeam. If we're using Construction Cloud, information is going on the site, they need all that information in there. So in our construction documents, we make sure that we have everything basically called out within there. Whereas our working view, we're looking at it as, you know, again, just that design aspect of it. Within the working view, obviously we can turn things on and off within there. In this case, you see that we have furniture turned on. You know, based on the layout of furniture, you know, and we're designing ductwork, there may be certain areas of rooms that we want more airflow in those. In this case, you know, we're covering over some seating areas that may come into play. So in the working view, we may want to see that furniture so that we know where to, you know, push out the air in specific spots. Now, when it comes to the construction side, I don't care about where the furniture is laid out. All I care about is, you know, showing the ductwork and calling out all that information. And, you know, we're getting the locations of where that stuff is going to be at. But again, we don't care about that furniture layout in our construction document. Let's see here. Also, looks like we're showing some lighting fixtures just as a reference in our HVAC plan. So just to show that there isn't any type of conflicts with that, we're kind of showing it in a dashed grayscale mode in our construction documents. So that's why we're seeing that within here. When we're placing our ductwork in a working plan, we also may go to a coordination plan. And if we've got our electrical link loaded in, or if the electrical is in the actual project, we'd be able to see that in coordination as well. So we could potentially lay out ductwork in a working type view. We may go in and place diffusers in a coordination type view, so that we're not putting diffusers in the same location as lighting fixtures. So again, as we look up in some of these other areas here, and I don't know why they placed a tag for this specific one, but must have been some specific reason for that. We actually have two different tags. So that's another thing that you could possibly do between a working and a construction view. You may have specific type of tags that you want to show on a construction view, but in a working view, maybe you have different information specified within there. It looks like for some reason we've got 0 inches away from finished floor. So that may be something that needs to be corrected to make sure that the distance is a little bit different than 0 inches off the floor. So that may be something to correct. But again, that may be why you want to go in and throw in a different type of tag for that instance, because in the design mode, I want to know if my diffuser is at 0 inches and it should be at maybe 10 feet or 9 feet. So we want to make sure that we go in and correct that in the working view, because in our plan representation, we don't have that information in there because we have a different type of tag that we're showing. So I think, when we're taking a look at placing diffusers, in this case, probably at the ceiling height, and they're expecting that to be at a ceiling height. We went in and created a section cut. Obviously, we'd be seeing quite the ductwork going down all the way to the floor to where this diffuser is located at. So again, the same thing can be said for other types of views as well. If we go to a plumbing type view here for construction, and we come down here, you see that we have different types of views for a working type instance, and also for the construction. You can see that this one has some that are separate for a restroom type instance. And let's see, do we have one in here? We don't. All right, well, if we did have one, we would probably see a bathroom layout within here that we'd want to show more detail. Obviously, when we get to a bathroom layout like this in a main floor plan and start placing all kinds of tags within there in a 1/8 to 1 foot scale, it's going to take a lot of room there. It's going to cover a lot of space when you go in and start tagging each of those. So that's why you want to go in and possibly create scope boxes. So create the scope boxes for those areas that you want to create it in a larger scale. In this case, you can see at the bottom here, this is a 1/4 inch scale compared to the 1/8 inch for the plan view. So when it's obviously increased, we go in and place tags. Doesn't cover, all the design aspect of it, and you can see both the annotation and the design together within a particular view. See if we go to the plumbing type view here, just a regular plumbing plan. Let's go back to our tab views. So yeah, if we zoom in here, you can see this one actually has a call out here. And this one is the plumbing plan 01 sample, which should be just simply plumbing plan 01 restrooms. But you can see here, obviously with a scope box type instance, you could go in and start labeling each of the components here, and we can easily see the line work being displayed within here as well. So again, with the construction view, you're going in and adding all these labels within here, while the person that's working in a working type view is just more or less concentrated on making sure that they're connected to the water closets, the urinals, to the sinks. And the person that can be working in the construction documents can then be going in and labeling it. So if you have one view that both of you are working on, it makes it a lot more difficult to try to work together on that aspect. So it allows you to break up the object a little bit by having somebody work on the construction documents and somebody working on the working design view aspect of it. All right. So a few things that I looked at before as I was doing a little bit of research on this webinar. Uh, I wanted to kind of get a few other people's impressions on this, and I was kind of looking at some of the discussion groups. A few of the things I saw is that what they said with the working views is I can jack up a working view with hidden categories, goofy colors, whatever, and I don't break the printed set. And that's kind of a good explanation of using construction documents and working type views in a project. Because yes, you can go in and do whatever funky stuff that you want to do in a working view. You can make side notes, make sure you check this off, as you're working on the project, or a reminder for someone else that might be working on the project. You can throw that off to the side there. You don't have to worry about it, being put onto a sheet in a working view. So the sky's the limit here in a working type view. And even if you go into a view template for a working view and you go in and start turning stuff off. Now, I don't recommend doing this too often, but if you go in and start turning stuff on and off within here, it's easy to do. You can make things look the way that you want. If you are using the MEP productivity pack, you're going to find that a lot of the stuff is set up pretty well. You're not going to have to make a whole lot of changes to it. When you get to the construction documents, so say I go to my HVAC plan and I go to my view template for this, you're not going to want to have a lot of changes within it. But one thing that you're probably going to want to change is when you start linking in the backgrounds. So your architecture link, your structural link. If you're working with other MEP disciplines, you want to make sure those things look correctly. You want to go to your visibility graphic overrides for your Revit links, and you want to go ahead and click edit. Now, if there's one thing I wish Revit would do is somehow set this up so that it could be in your starter project and carry over from one project to the next. But this is something that unfortunately you have to do for each project. So you see here that we have this widget engineering office building. So that is our architectural background. We've got a placeholder here for electrical mechanical. We also have a structural placeholder. Now, with the architecture, we're just going to take a look at this one. You see that we have these all set as custom. So that means items have been changed so that it looks correctly within your view. So if I go in and click on custom, typically you're going to have to go in and click on custom here again, because it's usually set by host view. You go ahead and click on custom, and then it's going to allow you to go in and change how your model categories or annotation categories or other categories that are part of that linked model, and being able to change how they are looking within there. So within the model category for the architecture side, you have the option in here to go in and turn things on and off. Remember, it's only doing that in the linked model that you have selected here. It's not going to do it in your MEP project for your categories, just the linked model. It's going to allow you to go in and change the lines, patterns, transparency, go in and set things to be halftone. You can also go in and set the different detail levels of objects within here. So it's a nice option to be able to go into these links. But like I said, it would be great if Autodesk would do something so that it could carry over from project to project and have it automatically set some of these things. Because as you go through some of these, you're going to find that there may be subcategories that you may want to turn on and off. Also, if you're working with a separate discipline, if you're mechanical, somebody's working with electrical, you're going to link in that electrical model. You may want to go to, their electrical equipment, and they may have a subcategory for their clearances for their electrical equipment. So you can come in here and you can go in and uncheck those clearances so that you're not seeing those within projects. So reverse goes the same way. If you're on the electrical side and you're bringing in the mechanical, a lot more times you get on the electrical side, you got to see the mechanical than the reverse way. So with that, electrical person will go down to mechanical equipment, expand that, and possibly turn off the clearances within there. So that always seems to be a big thing for a lot of users is, oh, I'm seeing these clearances on all my views. How do I get rid of those? Well, this is typically the way that you got to go in and do it. You got to go into the link file that are showing those clearances and turn them off. All right. So we're wrapping up our webinar a little bit early today, but just again, I thought this was a great topic to discuss because I've had some customers really ask, why should I use a working view? Why can't I use it in construction, just construction views? So I hope today's webinar basically has helped you out here to kind of determine if you want to use working and construction document type views. I hope I've swayed you in the right direction to utilize both those, gave you a few options and the reasons why you want to go in and create those. So again, if you do already have the MEP productivity pack, you've noticed that you already have this set up. But if you're kind of developing your own template, again, I've given you a few options to go in and tweak your template to show these view classifications instead of just the by discipline, and also utilizing the view templates a little bit more. All right. So it doesn't look like I have any questions here. So we'll wrap up the webinar. So if you're still eating lunch, you got 10 minutes to get back to work. So I want to thank everybody for attending the session. Again, my name is Philip Charlson. If you do have any questions at all, please reach out to me. I've got my email address on here. If you have any sales questions, you can reach out. I got our 1-800 number, also sales@atgusa.com. We'll get you to a person to assist you as well. And typically they'll reach out to one of us techs to help them out as well. So maybe just coming right back around to me anyway. So again, thank you for your time today, and have a great rest of your day.